Soon after the 9/11, a video surfaced that was taken by a visitor with Osama bin Laden, in which he gloated on the fall of the Twin Towers. It was in the spirit that Judith spoke of just moments ago that I then wrote this little reflection that was published in the book September 11th, Maryland Voices, titled The Bin Laden Tapes, A Time for Soul Searching. It's hard to view the bin Laden tapes without feeling a powerful sense of disgust. The joy and glee he and his guests show over the success of the 9/11 mission is revolting. The mission exceeded their most optimistic estimates. Praise be to Allah. Yet, as I watched, a nagging sense of deja vu begins to nag at the back of my consciousness. There is a fleeting memory that tells me something about this is familiar. Then it hits me. Of course, General Schwarzkopf and the Pentagon briefers during the Persian Gulf War. Yes, that's it. It's the same sense of glee about our smart bombs going right down a chimney and completely obliterating their target. Videos of a mission accomplished successfully beyond our most optimistic expectations amid cheers from the press corps. God bless America. Yet there remains something very different about the present tapes. Objectively, bin Laden's glee now and our glee then look very much the same. But subjectively, there is a big difference. We know all too well the horrible human toll of his mission. We have felt the grief of the thousands whose lives were snuffed out on September 11. But 10 years ago, we watched the destruction of Iraqi targets from above, aloof to the human suffering below. Did the victims of our missiles then feel the same disgust at our glee as we now feel toward bin Laden? If we had been able to see the human effect of our technical accomplishment, might we have been remorseful? Yes, there is something very different about the present case. As Noam Chomsky has pointed out, for the first time, we are on the receiving end of terrorism. It does feel very different when the bombs are aimed at us. Of course, we knew there was collateral damage from our airstrikes against Iraq. Yet, as we now know, there are unavoidable civilian casualties in our bombing of Afghanistan. But we feel little remorse for the non-civilian victims, just as bin Laden feels no remorse for the victims of his bombing of the Pentagon and the World Trade Center. There were no innocent victims there, he says. In his mind, they were all active participants in the military and commercial defilement of the holy lands of Islam. Thus, they were all the enemy, and the enemy is evil and must be destroyed. It is the will of Allah. Haven't we similarly demonized Osama bin Laden? Don't we also see Al-Qaeda as evil and our mission to destroy it as blessed by God? We are as convinced of our goodness and our enemy's evil as they are convinced of their own goodness and our evil. Each is blind to the humanity of the other, and thus is also blind to the evil within our own souls. A kind of Manichaean fundamentalism has gripped both sides. Such a mindset can only lead to more terror. I fear that the only winner of our war on terrorism will be terror itself. Let me add a brief postscript. As we look back at the events of September 11th, our response to them, we can now see they have framed an era. As victims, our desire for vengeance in the name of security numbed our moral sensibility. For 20 years, we've been blind to the effects of our violence on those we have attacked. Indeed, in the war on terrorism, it is terrorism itself that has won. Now, having to finally admit defeat in Afghanistan, let us hope we might regain